Stage 1, Interview. Most quantum healers worth their salt will spend a fair amount of time talking with you before they use any techniques. It's an important part of the process for several reasons. In the first instance, it allows you to become comfortable with your practitioner and let of any nerves. But it also helps them figure out why you've come for a session. The answers that you give here will have a huge bearing in the direction your session takes, and the outcome you receive. Stage 2, Setting Intentions and Spiritual Alchemy. The main point of the interview is to find your intention for the session. This will determine where you'll go on your journey and what type of experience you'll have. Being clear about your goal is important if you have a specific outcome in mind for your session. Once you're happy, the way I like to move forward is by using a short water alchemy ceremony to invoke your I Am Presence. This is a technique based on the work or Dr. Emoto and was originally conceived of by Pamela Lynn. The purpose of this is to solidify your intent and declare to the universal mind that you're ready for change. Stage 3, Connection and Protection. Creating a sacred space is an often overlooked part of the pre-induction process. It serves a dual purpose. The first is to call in your guides and amplify your intention across all realities your soul is invested in. The second is to ensure that no negative influences can enter in and affect you during your session. If this scares you, don't let it. In all my time practicing beyond quantum healing, I've never once had a negative entity of any description affect a session. The emphasis is very much on the connection with guides rather than the protection from negative entities. Stage 4, Induction and Engaging with your quantum mind. This is where the magic really starts to take place. Each practitioner may have their own take on they take you into the trance state. But they will all use some form of a hypnotic script. And it works very much like a guided meditation. At this point, having been taken through several stages of deepening already, the induction takes you over the final threshold. It connects you with the most relevant time and place for you to resolve whatever challenges you've brought to your session. Stage 5, Exploration of your inner being and outer world. Your journey begins. Once you've entered through the portal connecting you to the most necessary experience, you begin your exploration. You may have some impressions of where you are straight away. But it's more common for your quantum healer to help facilitate the process by asking you a series of questions. You'll work with your practitioner to lock onto the situations that represent the most trauma. The information from the interview stage will also help this process. Stage 6, Bring in healing from the galactic central sun. After you've completed your exploration, your practitioner may choose to call in healing from the great galactic central Sunday. This is a form of cosmic energy healing that can have a profound effect on physical, mental, emotional and spiritual being. It's such a powerful technique. I always include it in my sessions. I've received sessions from others who don't use it and can't understand why. For me, it's the difference from an average session to a transformative experience. Stage 7, Connecting with your higher self, the final stage, and the one that provides the most long-term value post-session. You'll have brought a list of questions with you to ask your higher self, and this is where you'll find the answers to some of your most pressing questions. Your practitioner will ask these on your behalf and also any follow-up questions that might expand on the information. After this phase is over, you'll then be brought back to physical waking consciousness. As you can see, beyond quantum healing is more than just hypnosis. It really does take you on a journey and dig deeps into your psyche, your soul and beyond. And although it might seem like there are a lot of moving parts to BQH, you'll be guided every step of the way. You don't need to worry about forgetting any of the steps or doing it wrong. There is no wrong way of taking part in a BQH session. Everyone's experience and way of engaging is unique to them. You'll also be provided with a recording after your session, so you can listen back to it in full. What can beyond quantum healing help you overcome? BQH can do anything you want, within reason. Its potential for healing is limited only by your imagination and the courage to ask for your desired outcome. You only have to believe that change is possible. You can shift chronic pain and trauma that been with you for decades. All it requires is your belief, beyond quantum healing isn't confined to emotional and spiritual challenges. It can be just as effective when used for physical issues, too. People have been known to come for a BQH session with metal plates in their arms, which has vanished by the time it's over. Others have come for sessions with chronic and terminal illnesses and have been able to reverse stage 4 cancer to the bemusement of their doctors. Addictions to alcohol, cigarettes, and even hard drugs such as heroin have all been reversed with just one session. BQH and QHHT. If you're wondering about the similarities between the BQH and QHHT, they have a lot in common. In some ways, they're virtually identical. Since BQH is derivative of QHHT, it's to be expected. But they're both working towards the same end. If you want a fuller comparison between the two modalities, you check out my BQH versus QHHT post. But to give you the briefest of overviews, both models work with you to establish a link between your conscious mind and your past experience by your higher self. The outcome you gain from both approaches is exactly the same. BQH changes very little in terms of delivery. What it does allow, though, are online sessions. These are strictly forbidden within QHHT as per Dolores Cannon's wishes before she passed on. Beyond quantum healing is also far more open-ended. It encourages you to play around with structure and find new ways of applying the skill. This approach means BQH can be adapted to suit almost any kind of scenario. Why beyond quantum healing is unrivaled for serious consciousness exploration. One of the biggest reasons that people come for a beyond quantum healing session besides personal issues is curiosity. You may feel the same way. If you've been on a spiritual journey for any length of time, you want to know the answers to the bigger questions, such as, what is my purpose? Why am I here on earth at this time? How do I connect with my soul family? Will I meet my twin flame in this lifetime? Who was I in a past life? Why am I experiencing X issue in my life? What is the main thing holding me back in life? How do I move forward from X situation? If your main interest is consciousness exploration, you find the answer to all these questions and more. For a time, your only option would have been past life regression. But even then, the experience was a linear one. BQH allows you to explore your past from the unlimited point of view. 14 priceless benefits of beyond quantum healing. If it isn't already obvious by now, there are many benefits from having a beyond quantum healing session. There are so many that it's not been possible to talk about them all in detail. Here's a recap and a rundown of exactly what BQH can do for you. You become clear on your soul's purpose in this lifetime. You understand how to take positive action to move forward in life. You let go of the fear of death and embrace yourself as an infinite being. You let go of limiting beliefs that are holding you back. You understand why you chose this body, this family, and this location to incarnate. You understand why challenging experiences were necessary for your spiritual growth. You may connect with and heal your inner child, shadow self, and transcend your spiritual ego. You connect you with your higher self and receive guidance on your biggest challenges. You experience healing on a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level. You have increased compassion and forgiveness to those who have caused you harm. You can retrieve soul shards that have become lost in traumatic past life events. You will experience connection with the original source light energy of creation. You may experience communion with your spirit guides. You may unlock and/or increase your intuitive and psychic abilities. What happens after a beyond quantum healing session? In the immediate aftermath, you'll probably feel elated, having relieved yourself of your burdens. Many people who I work with report feeling light and airy straight after they've come back to the physical. But the session won't end after you exit the trance state. There'll be a short debriefing to talk about what you thought of the experience, and what things stuck out for you the most. And here is where I get a chance to offer you some input on some of your experiences. Since I can't ask you any leading or suggestive questions that would influence your experience, now is the time I can provide some context. I won't do this straight away, of course. It's much more useful for you to come to these conclusions by yourself. This could go on for anyway between 15 to 30 minutes. Some people are more inclined to discuss their experience than others. But whichever way you choose is fine. In the weeks and months after your session, you'll notice changes starting to creep into your life. These may be sudden, or they might develop over a longer period. It depends what the nature of the challenges you brought to session with you. For some, there's a period of integration, for others, life instantly takes on a whole new meaning, the next step in your spiritual evolution. What is there left to say that hasn't already been covered? As it stands, beyond quantum healing is one of the powerful modalities you can work with, and one of the most accessible. And it has such a profound impact on so many levels of your being. There is nothing else that can provide you with such incredible results with just one session. With BQH, you can accomplish in one meeting what it takes many months and even years to work through with a psychologist because it works on a quantum level of awareness. I can vouch from experience on both sides of the divide, both as a client and practitioner. BQH has a radical effect on my life, and I've facilitated that same changed others. When you commit to having a beyond quantum healing session, you're not just having a hypnosis session. You're making an investment in yourself, your future and your long-term happiness. Everything you own in this life is temporary. It all leaves you eventually. But the way you feel, and the experiences you create, they remain until you change your narrative. How are you going to create the rest of your life? Take control of your future by exploring your past with Beyond Quantum Healing. Are you struggling to take the next step in your life? Are you in need of healing, rejuvenation, or simply an avid consciousness explorer? What if I told you it was possible to achieve all of the above with a single approach? Too good to be true. Believe me when I tell you, it's not. Beyond Quantum Healing, BQH, expands on the work of Dolores Cannon, the original pioneer of quantum healing hypnosis with QHHT. In just one session, you can find out why you're here on Earth in this lifetime, heal old wounds and tap into the infinite wisdom of your higher self. Are you ready to let go of the past and embrace your unlimited potential? Click here to begin the next chapter of your spiritual evolution.